Fishing chiefs have claimed the Brexit trade deal breaks the promises made to them by Boris Johnson and other Leave MPs, as pressure mounts on MPs to pass the deal before the transition period ends on December 31. The Prime Minister announced on Christmas Eve a trade deal had been agreed between the UK and EU, with the draft text featuring more than 2,000 pages. But fishing industry leaders have voiced anger over the proposed trade agreement, accusing Mr. Johnson of caving in at the last minute to secure a deal. Barry Dees, chief executive of the National Federation of Fishermen's Organizations (NFFO), led the charge against the deal and said the fishing industry had been betrayed. He said, lacking legal, moral, or political negotiating leverage on fish, the EU made the whole trade deal contingent on a UK surrender on fisheries. In the endgame, the Prime Minister made the call and caved in on fish, despite the rhetoric and assurances that he would not do what Ted Heath did in 1973. Mr. Dees did concede the government was successful in having fought off EU's attempts to tie the UK back into common fisheries policy-like arrangements, but also said the agreement will inevitably be seen by the fishing industry as a defeat. Jane Sandell, UK Fisheries Chief Executive, concurred the pledges made to the fishing industry had not been met by Mr. Johnson's trade deal. She said, "We're pleased that the UK-EU deal will bring some kind of certainty to parts of our industry, although we're still looking for the prodigious amounts of fish we were promised, and for us it changes nothing. The government must now urgently turn its attention to striking a good deal with Norway and other third countries if we are to be able to fish in the distant waters from January 1. Jim Portis, chief executive of the Southwest Fish Producers Organization, added to The Observer, "I thought we were going to get a wonderful victory, but many of the promises that were made have not been delivered." The full text of the trade agreement was released yesterday, and sees 25% of European fishing in British waters transferred back to the UK over the course of 5.5 years. After the transition period, the UK and EU will negotiate annually on the share of British fish stock European trawlers can catch. Should the UK decide to completely withdraw European access to British waters after the transition period, Europe would then be able to impose tariffs on British fish exports. An arbitration method has been included in the agreement to avoid lengthy disputes over fishing.